This is for everyone who has lost a loved one. Losing someone to death is definitely not an easy thing, especially if it is someone who is very close to us. But there are many different types of loss. It's not just loss to death. There is also loss of friendship, loss of partners, breaking up, moving away, moving apart. But what I really want to talk about today is a loss of a loved one to death. But, as I say, this can apply to any type of loss. And the first thing to bear in mind is that you are going to go through the 5 stages of grief. And it doesn't matter how tough you are going to go through them. And the important thing here is to know that you're going to go through it and to allow yourself to go through it. And I'm not going to talk about or go into detail about the 5 stages of grief. I think many of us know what they are, and if you don't, it's very easy to Google them. But the main thing is to allow yourself to go through it, because it is part of the healing process itself. So you are going to go through the denial, you are going to go through the anger, you are going to go through the bargaining, you're going to go through the depression, and then finally you're going to get to the acceptance. And if you don't allow yourself to go through this process, you're just going to lengthen all of it out, and it's just going to take longer to get through. But at some stage you're going to have to go through it all. So, as I say, just allow yourself to go through it, and where you need help, where you need support, where you need people, don't be afraid to reach out. It's very important that you do reach out and you get that support. Now, the main thing today that I want to talk about is demonic help that you can actually get during this process of grief. So we're not going to go into necromantic practices of contacting the dead, of passing over or anything like that. This is specifically for the ones who are left behind, who are going through grief and are feeling that loss, and they need help and they need support, not just from people. Reach out to people. You definitely have to reach out to people. But if you do want to reach out to the demonic for help as well, there are a variety of demons that can help you with that. So I just wanted to have a look at those today. Now, the first one, a bit of a tricky one really, is Beleth, sometimes called Bolfrey. But the tricky part here is that Beleth is actually considered to be a lust demon. But in this aspect of lust, being a lust demon, Beleth is more suited for seeking out long-term relationships. So it's not one of those lust demons that can find you one-night stands and things like that. But on the other side of the coin, Beleth is also a necromantic demon and is very good at helping you to find stability and comfort, especially when you are grieving the loss of a loved one. So if you want to try and reach out to Beleth, that's the first one. I've put this Beleth first because Beleth is said to be quite terrifying, and if you read the Goetia, the original Solomonic grimoire, Beleth is considered to be terrifying and should be summoned with the hazel wand and everything else. So might not be the easiest demonic force to work with, but can help you to find that stability and comfort if you need it. But there are others that can help as well. Bolbereth is definitely a good one. Bolbereth, however, is the Prince of Dying. So Bolbereth Station is more towards the passing over process, to help your loved one to actually pass over, go through the process of dying itself. But because Bolfrey has that understanding of the process of death, he can also help you with your grieving process. In fact, Bolfrey is said to actually bring joy to the living. You know, during a wake, for instance, you might want to actually call on Bolfrey to be there and help the passing of the loved one, but also to bring that joy, to remember the happy moments, the joyous moments. Then one of the obvious demonic forces here is Euronymous, who is the demon of death. Now, summoning Euronymous can cause some disorientation when you first summon Euronymous or Yuri. He does bring shades with him, so there is a bit of a disorientation that actually happens when in this process of summoning him. However, Euronymous is very, very grounding, very sort of solid, and can definitely help you to understand the process of death. And because of that wisdom that he brings, he also brings comfort. And after you've summoned him and the disorientation has obviously passed, you're going to feel a sense of loving calm in his presence. And that can definitely help with the grieving process. Now, one that doesn't get mentioned often, if at all, I haven't actually seen it mentioned in any form of necromantic texts or discussions, is Leviathan. The reason I mention Leviathan is because I have worked with Leviathan to help other people with their grieving process extremely successfully. Leviathan is very good to summon for emotional imbalance. So if you are going through any kind of emotional imbalance, whether it's depression, anxiety, or anything like that, Leviathan can actually help with that process, help you understand what's going on, help you understand the process of healing, and will actually help you to overcome that imbalance, that emotional imbalance. I always see Leviathan as the cleansing and healing waters. You know, he's the dark waters, the dark sea, and with that water, it's a cleansing process. So what I've found is that when working with somebody who is going through grief of a loss of a loved one, it's almost like he washes them and cleanses them. And through that cleansing process, it actually brings the emotions into balance and helps them to deal with what's happening and what's going on, and brings that comfort and brings that stability that they require in order to get through the grief itself. I don't think it short circuits or bypasses the grief process, but as I say, that's a necessary part of the actual healing. But it brings the wisdom and it helps people to understand the process of grief and the process that they're going through, but also at the same time, because of the cleansing, it brings them into balance and helps them to cope better with their emotions and cope better with their grief. So it does make the process somewhat easier. So if you are going through grief and loss, then I would definitely call on Leviathan. As I say, not mentioned much in this arena, but Leviathan has definitely proven to be of worth and value to me, to the people I've helped with their grief. So that's, you know, when it comes to the grieving process, as I said, there are many demons that fall under the necromantic aspect, the necromantic arena, but most of them are used to summon the dead, to talk with the dead, to help with the passing, and things like that. I specifically wanted to focus on those that are centered around helping the ones left behind, the living, the people who are going through the grieving process, who are experiencing the loss. So that's it for today. I did want to end with a prayer to Eurynomus, which I thought it's beautiful. Come forth, Eurynomus of death, we seek thee. Bring to us comfort for those we have lost, and protect those who fall into your embrace. Let us commune with our ancestral dead and find comfort and wisdom in their words. Bring to us the spirits from beyond the veil, and protect them until they return. So be it. And that's it for this week, and for anybody who is experiencing loss and grief, my condolences, and I hope this helped a little bit, and I send you much love. And I hope to see you soon, or I'll chat to you next week. Have a good one. Cheers for now.